Hey, thanks guys. This is another Test Miles review. What do we got this week? Well, it's the brand new Honda Ridgeline. Some interesting things about the Honda Ridgeline. It is Honda's second attempt at the Ridgeline, a completely redesigned truck. And the question is it really a truck or is it an SUV with a bed? We'll try and work that out as we test drive it. There's also a lot of features that this vehicle has that no other truck, SUV, CUV, car has in the complete lineup of trucks available in the United States. Ryan and I are going to put it on the road, test drive it, see how it does, and find out whether it's worthy of your dollar. Pretty standard Honda key. It has a lock and unlock, and it also has a hold to start button, which means you can automatically start the vehicle from inside your house. That's quite useful. It also has a panic alarm on it, but as well as an emergency valet or an emergency key, which comes out of the key fob. Now, if you want to open this vehicle, it has that magic button on the inside. 2 for lock, 1 for unlock, 1 for unlock, 2 for lock, 5 for lock. We've got the engine running at the back of the 2017 Honda Ridgeline because we want to show you something. But first, before we do, check out this. Tailgate opens as normal this way, but in true Honda fashion, they have the tailgate opening this way. And when we open it up, what do we find? We find a blender inside because it is attached to a 400-watt inverter, which they have in the trunk. And Honda tell me that they can use this to blend your favorite protein drink. Let's find out if it actually works. Inside here we have one of my favorite protein drinks with almond milk, pears, some maca powder, and also some vanilla. And Ryan and I are going to enjoy this if it works. 400 watts may not be quite enough to blend. It may need more than that. So give me 20 minutes. I'll have a shake for you. All right, well, I turned the blender up to full and it looks like it's done. It's shake time. Wait a second, that worked really well. However, I'm not sure where Ryan is, so maybe I'll enjoy both of them. All right, so we removed the blender. There's a couple other things I want to show you. You may remember seeing the ad that Honda had in the Super Bowl this year for this particular truck, and it showed that it had speaker beds. In fact, this is the only truck on the market to have rear bed speakers. What does it use? It actually uses the walls of the bed to make the speaker. It has the magnetic portion, but the actual cone of the speaker is missing, and it uses the vibration of the bed to make the sound. The other thing I want to show you about this is something that was in the first edition of the Ridgeline, the trunk. And in the first edition, of course, they had this, the trunk bed. Oh, that's where you are. I was wondering what you were doing. Were you checking out the spare tire?
I was just checking out how much room is actually down here, taking a nap.
Would you like to go for a test drive now?
Yeah, we can go somewhere, I guess.
So Ryan, on our test drive of the brand new 2017 Honda Ridgeline, Two things that we didn't mention about the bed speakers that I wanted to fill you in on. First of all, they are waterproof, and second of all, you can connect them, if you so desire, to your Bluetooth device. So you do not have to use the very apt Android Auto, which is in the vehicle. You can actually have your device separately and connect them straight to the speakers. I think that's a brilliant idea. This vehicle on the outside is black pearl. It is the black edition, and like all of the different Honda Ridgelines available, it actually has an interesting configuration. It is an all-wheel drive or a front-wheel drive truck, which means it's the only front-wheel drive truck I've ever heard of.
And they did that because the people wanted it. Apparently, they talked to their customers of previously owned Ridgelines, and that's what they wanted. They wanted to go back to the customer's roots.
Everything in the car has been driven by what the dealer and what the customer asked for.
So this is a little bit slower when you're talking about trucks. This only has 280 horsepower. It is a V6. It still has a bigger engine in it. But if you take a look at the outside of this one compared to the original Ridgeline, it actually looks like a traditional truck. It has that half bed, half cab look to it. It's actually a unibody. It's not a body on frame design. So it's very unique in a lot of ways, but a lot of people think it's a very versatile vehicle, and it's built specifically for these families.
I will tell you that I'm having a lot of trouble deciding which category it falls into, whether it's a SUV or CUV with a bed, or whether it's actually a truck. Look like a truck, but not necessarily act like a truck. Now, driving it is kind of fun. I'm finding that all of the safety features and all of the fun stuff that you'd expect in a nice family sedan comes right in this Honda Ridgeline. It does have a lot of safety systems, doesn't it, Ryan?
Yeah, it has an unbelievable amount of safety. I mean, if you would compare this to any other vehicle with a safety assist, I would probably say like a Lexus RX or possibly even a Cadillac. It has just about everything that those top-of-the-line cars have. It has a lot of luxury assists like lane departure control and blind spot monitoring. It has a lot of autonomous features, so if you're leaving the lane, it will actually veer back over into the lane and correct you just in case you're getting a little tired or not paying full amount of attention, like you know Americans do.
Now, the interior of this vehicle is called black and red, just quite simply. It's mostly black, it has a few red accents. It's a very truck-like interior, but in the back there's a lot of extra room. In fact, you can put the seats straight up and get a full bicycle without taking the front wheel off of it, which I kind of like the idea. I couldn't fit my Harley Davidson in the back, it's not quite that big. But Honda tells us it has the biggest passenger room, especially in the back and the cargo area. Now, there are no wheel wells in the back of the vehicle, and that's because of the way the vehicle was constructed, so you can get pieces of drywall in the back of the vehicle without having to put them on a slant. I like that idea because the truck bed is wider and those wheel wells don't come into play.
And also you can hold your dirt bike in there. That's also a fun accessory or a fun idea that Honda's added into that. Since they've removed the wheel wells, it's so versatile. You can put an air mattress back there, you can sleep, you can fit extra camping gear, you can fit all kinds of extra stuff back there. So also this back seat, the reason why it has so much room is it doesn't have this big hump that a normal truck would have right here in the middle that you're used to if you're driven a truck in your life. It doesn't have any kind of transfer case, any kind of anything below here. This is just flat ground. It's basically an SUV with a truck bed on the back.
One of the things I do like, it's very much based off of the Honda Pilot, but there's a lot of things on the inside that I've wanted in many vehicles. The rear glass in the window is sliding, which means you can actually open that here from the front. That inverter in the back that we showed you earlier on, and everything in the front here is controlled by buttons. But the one thing that's missing, and that drives a lot of us crazy, is the fact that Honda have gone to the no volume knob and everything is the touch panel on the screen. It might work well, but I'm a bit of a traditionalist. The one thing I like that the Honda didn't do that they've been doing in all of their vehicles is that they have been putting the push button gearbox in here. They didn't do that with this. They gave it a traditional shifter. And even though I'm sure I'd get quite used to it if I had a push button gearbox, the traditional shifter for me is much better in a truck. It makes me feel much more like that this is a proper truck. But if you're looking for something you can share with the family on the weekends and you could use for your light industrial job in the week, the Ridgeline is a lot of fun.
So some of the great tech that we have inside of here includes this terrain management system button that we have right down here, and you can switch in between normal, snow, mud, and sand. And what that actually does is changes up. Sometimes when you're driving in the sand or the ice, you need to turn off your traction control systems. You need to sometimes turn off your rear side curtain airbag if you're going heavy off-road. So what that actually does is lets you turn all that off for a long period of time and do what you need to do off-road, get off-road, have fun, get out of the spot that you might be stuck in or anything like that. It's a very versatile button that Honda's added.
All right, bumpy road test time. We've come to our special bumpy road, which has as many potholes as we could find. And this vehicle does pretty well. It's not truck-like at all. It's much more car-like. I'm going over these bumps, and you're not noticing me getting thrown around. So it does well in a bit of rough conditions.
That's right. It doesn't have a solid rear axle. It's a lot less bounce that we have in this. I mean, just going from driving a Silverado to the 4Runner to driving this, you definitely notice that this is basically an SUV. It's absorbing these bumps.
Now here's the inside scoop on this vehicle. Why did Honda decide to make it? And why did Honda suddenly decide that they needed a truck when they really aren't so much a truck company? Well, what they thought about was they have a great car line, they have a great SUV and CUV line, but what happens if you need a truck? You need to go outside the brand. So this wasn't made to win people over from Ford, from Chevy, from Ram. This vehicle was made to take your Honda client to the next level. If you happen to need a truck, you could stay within the brand. So this is actually supplying the rest of the brand lovers with the next step that they might need in having a bed in the back of their SUV.
So Honda's telling us that a lot of people that are buying these Ridgelines are actually owners of crossover SUVs, all kinds of stuff like that, and they're switching over to this versatile truck because not only do they have the space of their SUV, they have the versatility of a truck.
Something else you'll notice about Honda is, of course, they have their ACE body structure, and that's made them famous with safety and reliability with their vehicles. And this vehicle is absolutely made to fit into the lineup. The fuel economy, the best you'll get is 26 miles a gallon on that's the front wheel drive, and that's on the highway. It can be as low as we're getting around 18 miles a gallon, but don't forget, we're doing a lot of hills, and we're also taking the vehicle on a lot of, I would say, rougher terrain where we're not using our gas sensible minds.
So before you go out and buy a Tacoma, realize this is actually the class leader in fuel economy, acceleration, payload, and passenger room. So that Tacoma is going to be a lot smaller, not be able to haul as much in the back of the bed because of those wheel wells, and of course you're not going to get the fuel economy of this.
I would actually say that although when I first saw the Ridgeline, I wasn't sure it would be a winner for Honda, I think this is going to do a lot better than they thought it would do. And the problem that they're going to face with this vehicle is, can they make enough of them to satisfy what the public is looking for?
So Honda used to have this VTM4 button, and a lot of people questioned what it even did, whether it was on, whether it was off, what it did when you pressed that button, and now they've actually just turned their all-wheel drive system on all the time. It uses it when it needs to, it uses it when it's necessary. It's just a great thing that Honda's done.
I think one of the ideas that modern cars are following is take the stupid out. So if you really don't know what you're doing and you're not an expert in how to turn your four-wheel drive on and off, when you should be driving in four-wheel drive low and high, this vehicle does it for you. And a lot of vehicles, a lot of modern vehicles are going to that. They're making the decisions for you, and it allows the everyday driver that's looking for a vehicle that's just a utility that gets them from A to B to allow the vehicle to make the decisions. And I kind of like that idea because, let me tell you, I know when I'm off-roading I need four-wheel drive, and I know when I need it high and low, but sometimes I'm not sure if the conditions on the road warrant four-wheel drive or not.
Now we're going to test how quiet this SUV, or we're going to test how quiet this truck actually is.
It's an SUV.
It's a truck. 59. That's really quiet.
It is. They put a lot of special sound deadening, including the windshield being sound deadened, and a lot of sound deadening material on the inside of the vehicle. Again, more car-like than truck-like.
Yeah, it's actually been called by Honda an acoustic feedback windshield, so it lowers that road noise even more. They're just finding more and more ways of making it utterly silent in here.
Here we go, 2 adults in the 2017 Honda Ridgeline 0 to 60 test. Let's see how fast it does. You ready, Ryan, with your little solo there?
I'm strapped in.
Here we go.
Woo, VTEC! Okay, I can hear it now. 8.7 seconds, that VTEC.
8.7 seconds, the official speed with the solo, and that's 2 adults. It's not too bad.
We've watched a couple other videos trying to listen to the sound of that VTEC and see if we can hear it, and you really have to get inside of this truck and hear the VTEC. It really does sound like it's got a little bit of turbo power in there. I see why Honda hasn't put a turbo in yet.
Alright, so if you want to watch more reviews, of course, go to our website. The most important thing you can do is subscribe to us here on YouTube. We are not